Hey guys, um, as you may notice, we're not in the usual spot today. Oh shit, Dr. Umberto in the house. Hey Code Pink, hey Paulina, Hans Beats is in here. What's up, Ben? And BH Producer, so many people. I've noticed there's been a few subs as well, so thank you to those people that subscribed already. If my internet stalls, that's because if my stream stalls, that's why it's because my parents' internet is very bad. But yo, we're here. We're gonna do some lessons, and we've got so many requests. I posted something on Twitter saying, request what you'd like to know, and there is so much. I might not do all of these, but there's some good ones in here. Also, it's quite dark in here, so I think I've not really got good lighting this time. Michael Drake, what's up, man? And Wednesday's here. We're on 73 viewers now, guys. That's a whole new record. What the hell? I'm assuming because it's Sunday right now. But yeah, we're gonna get into some production lessons. So I got this first one on the list. Someone's asking for kick theory. I'm not really sure how to tell you what kick theory implies, but I'm assuming that's how to mix kicks or make kicks or whatever. But yeah, let me just put my headphones on real quick. Sad Savior, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate you. I know I'm so bored they forced me to take. That sucks. Keenan, sorry to hear that. Right, so first lesson, kick theory. Or I'm just gonna teach you guys how I do my kicks. So I start off by, this isn't, keep in mind that when I teach you guys something, this is not like a guaranteed formula on how to do something. This is like a tip or one of the many ways to get a certain sound. So, when I make my kicks, I do a lot of layering. So basically, what I do is I have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 layers, and the first layer will be the transient, which is the sound of the kick when it's getting hit. So basically, I will take like a sample that's good enough to be used as a transient. So let's wait, you guys can hear this, right? Yeah, you should be able to hear that. Amazing. So I take if I take one of my kicks here, one of my own kicks, let's take this one for example. So in FL Studio 12.6 is the newest version of FL. You can set the length of any sample in the sampler. So I like to shorten these down just up to here like this. I like to shorten these down up to here like this, and this pogo effect. By the way, I have to whisper because my parents are sleeping in the other room. I'm not whispering, but I'm kind of talking quite loudly. No, that's my mom picking clothes to wear, I think. Otherwise it's a ghost. Yeah, it might be a ghost. But yeah, I start off with the transient, and geez, I need to hold that mic in one hand and mouse in the other. Let's see, mouse and keyboard in the other hand, so I'm not gonna be as fast when I demonstrate these things. So we've got the transient, and what I like to do is use this boost, these legacy effects here. I like to use the boost effect here, and that kind of that makes it louder, or as loud as you want it to, and you can turn on the clip so it, you know, literally clips. So once you have this little click here, it doesn't have to be this loud, by the way. You can just leave that there for now, and then what I'd like to do is literally layer my kicks using the fruity layer function in FL Studio. So I highlight all these, and then you click set children, and then I go to right click on the layer and receive notes from typing keyboard, and it's only going to get notes from ASMR, you make me sleep. It's only going to get notes from your typing keyboard. So once you have that, actually let me do this 4 steps. So once you've got this, you can take it down an octave like this, but this transient here is too loud. And obviously keep in mind that this takes a lot of tweaking to do. So once you have this, I've never played Stardew Valley. I don't know what that is. It's like I'm assuming it's a video game, but I've never played it before. Right. Once you have this, set it to a mixer track, and then this is for the FL Studio users anyway. I get really fast distortion, which is a distortion plugin for those of you that don't know, and then sound goodizer just to boost it up a bit more. You don't have to do this, you can use any other plugin or anything. Are you kidding? 100 viewers? Bro, what the hell? That's mad. But anyway, I haven't watched Carmack's stream. I really wanted to watch it, but I missed it, unfortunately. So next effect that you need is some EQing, so that you can take out the high end, or just, you know, shape it however you want. But this technique helps you get really nice kicks in the long run. Just gotta make sure it's shorter like this, and then this is also very short. So if you take this off, you can hear that the body of the kick is gone. Turn it back on, it's back right there. So you keep adjusting this until it fits in your mix, or if you're the kind of person that does their drums before their melodies, go ahead and just leave it like this, and you know, you're at least done there anyway. So to recap, we have a transient first, and then a sub to make the body of the kick. Another thing you can also do is just kind of shift the delay of this envelope so that you literally hear the transient first before you actually 109. People are really locked down, aren't they? Wow. So I mean, this doesn't always work, this delay thing, but it's useful if you have a transient that's too long. That's if you don't make it short and you've got this kind of thing going on. So I like to top it all off with Fruity Limiter so I can control the dynamics of the sub, because sometimes they can get loud. Twits, what's up, man? Right, sometimes they can get quite loud, so you might want to... Sorry, that was my mom. So yeah, my dad's trying to sleep and I'm just trying not to make too much noise. So now that you have the dynamics controlled, you can set the gain to as loud as you want, but you can also increase the ceiling just in case it's still compressing badly, because this is a limiter, It's not a compressor, it's a limiter, so it's going to limit the decibels at which you set the ceiling. And once that is done, you can hold Shift E to open Edison in the master, and then just press record, play. Now you have a kick right there. And you can save that, use it in another project, or drag it into the sequencer once again. You have like, oh, wait, let me just release the typing keyboard. Have a kick there ready to go, and when you clip it, this by going to the wrench here and going to volume, you can make it get louder and louder, and it won't clip because you already had compression in the first place. I mean, it will still clip if you set it obviously loud, but like, you know, that's just one method of making your own kicks. Right. I feel like that was quite a boring tutorial just then, but yeah, that's basically how I do my kicks. But I wanted to show you guys this technique that I do. So I don't know if any of you have heard of Space Laces, Achios, or just dubstep producers in general. But one thing that I've really been interested in one thing that I've discovered is that the FL Studio sampler is the most powerful plugin in FL Studio ever. So it allows you to do so many things. So we're going to make dubstep noises just using the sampler, which is such a useful tool to have all the time. So the most annoying thing about this is that you have to keep setting it back to resample mode every time you put something in. Space Laces is dope. Okay, we've got some Space Laces fans in there. 122? That is mad. Where are all these people coming from? What the hell? Right. Okay, yeah, people don't have anything to do, so they'd rather watch me make sounds. So, okay, so if you put anything in the FL sampler, normalize it, turn up the crossfade, you get that, and if you shorten it down by adjusting the length here, you get that kind of thing. So it's just looping into itself in certain sections of the audio file. So one thing I like to do is go to the envelope tab and go to pitch, and you get something like that. And then when you mess around with the amount knob right here, you can pitch it around. But one thing I like to do is create an automation clip, and with automation clips you can make LFOs. So you double click the automation clip, select LFO here, and you can do this, and then we'll just leave that playing. So when you press something on your keyboard, you'll notice that the amount is moving up like that, which allows you to do some crazy stuff like this. So we'll just set this to a mixer track like so, and then get Edison in there and set Edison to input, so that every time you press something, it gets recorded. You can also maybe link the attack to the automation clip as well, so that it's also moving. The purpose of this is to get some randomness in your sounds, so that you can do some crazy stuff like this. So you just keep dragging in random things, and like this, And this works with any sample that you put in, basically. Wait, let me try and find something more interesting. Something like this. No. I'm basically teaching you guys how to make glitch sounds. So you do this. Wait, no. Yeah, just keep doing this with random audio files. I've got too many chill. Maybe this as well. Keep setting the time stretching mode to resample so that the pitch envelope actually works. Let's see. This one here. Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like a granulizer, so you just keep doing this. Just record for as long as possible. 200 viewers, bro. It's crazy. It'll be crazy if we get there anyway. That would be insane. This thing keeps resetting itself to auto. I'm just putting it to resample. Like that. It doesn't matter what sample you put in there, just keep. Hold on. Damn it. Okay, I think I've recorded enough. Yeah, okay. So once you have that in there, you right click, go to tools, and then select trim all noise and slice up. You don't want these markers in here, so you right click, go to regions, and then you click delete. And then once you have that, you'll have it like just consistently interesting sounds like that. And then drag it into your playlist, and now it's there for you to use. You can another thing that I love to do is make an Edison sandwich. Well, not a sandwich, just get another copy of Edison. I don't know why I said Edison sandwich, but yeah. Get another copy of Edison, and then you've got this scrub wheel thing here, and you can do this. Wait, one sec. Oh wait, so you've got that, and you can go fast, go slow, use tape stop effects. There we go. What the hell? Even sidewalk talk is in here. I didn't notice. I'm a big fan of sidewalk talk. You guys are amazing. I learned all this stuff by messing around, literally. Just messing around with everything I have in FL Studio. Yeah, just keep going back and forth. Just hold it down, speed it up, slow it down. I make everything, man. Mostly electronic music. You just keep going like this, and then you've got a massive recording of glitch effects to use, and you can just drag that in to the playlist, and you know, you can use that in video games or your music or, you know, whatever you want. Let me just mute these two here, and then you can just take it a step further. You can make sure it's in resample mode, and then you can just maybe time stretch it or speed it up and slow it down. So you've got all sorts of weird sounds in there that you can chop up. Now do the blurring thing in Edison. Wait, is decap in? Wow, everyone is in here. Why is everyone pulling up? 138. You guys are insane. What the hell? Right, I forgot to do this as well. Put this in tremolo noise and slice up, and then delete all the regions. Drag it back in there. Let me delete this. So put all the regions away, and then I mean, I'll keep that there for later, but the main thing I was trying to get at is dubstep sound design. So I'm gonna show you guys something really cool that you can do. So in the sampler, you have this built-in ring mod effect thing in here, and you can do some crazy things with that as well. You get sounds like this. It sounds like some data transmission or something, which is amazing. So when you have an envelope like this, you can, well, when you set the envelope like this, you can now start getting little sounds like this. And with the let me just set the length. Oopsie daisy. Let me just set the length down to here, and then turn up the crossfade again. Normalize it, and then put it in a mixer track. So I know a lot of people don't know how to use Maximus, but when you get Maximus, it's a really good multiband compressor, by the way. Why isn't there a way to reduce video quality? This is lagging. Ah, no. I hope the stream is fine. Anyway. Oopsie daisy. That's not supposed to be there. Okay, so we've got this thing here. So in Maximus, if you go to the high band and set your graph like this, you get this near, like, something almost similar to, you're in a hot sauce commercial, or check Instagram. I know, a lot of people have sent that to me. So when you set the graph like this, you get something almost similar to OTT's preset. And then if you also set the low cut down here, so you can get the low end elements to be boosted up as well. Maybe let me just set the post like this. And then the next thing you can do is maybe go through the entire sample that you just recorded and just find some interesting sounds. Since you've got the ring mod on, every sound that you make is going to sound very metallic. In fact, you can make it sound even more metallic by setting up the reverb like this. Like this, and then... Okay, let's use that one. I'll get a copy of 3 times OSC again, and then maybe make a quick low sine wave. Just bear with me for a sec. You don't have to do this when I create this sound, by the way. Just maybe do this. Then get a layer. Click the layer, and then set these two. And then you can set this layer to the typing keyboard so that you can always get this kind of thing going on. Route the sub to a mixer track, and then get yourself fast distortion, sound gradizer, and EQ. Oop, that's a bit too loud. That's very loud. And you can, get some crazy dubstep-y rhythm, kind of sounds like this. Let's just make this louder. So you can go through. This is like a dubstep sound, I don't know, rhythm sound generator thing now. So you can just go through your sample start and just see if you can find any interesting points. Hey Majuro, what's up, man? Always good to see Majuro in the stream. Yeah, you can get weird things like space laces type sounds like this. You can also change the timbre of the sound by adjusting the ring mod frequency in the legacy settings here. Because I don't have a mic stand, I'm holding it because I don't have a mic stand with me. Like you can go crazy, like just it's so insane what you can do once you have that. It's like a cheat way to make good rhythm sounds. How did I do the dog bark in first of many? That's in Harmor, and it was a long process, and I don't know how I did that. One reason I would just want to upgrade to FL20 is because the sampler got overpowered. It really did. I mean, still overpowered in previous ones, but you know. Right, okay. Incredibly potent technique, thank you, holy shit. Thank you, yeah, no problem. Can get some really interesting sounds. So let me show you guys something that I made earlier today using this technique. I mean, it's not that great. I rushed it so much. Paulina, thank you for the sub. I appreciate you. But yeah, so I went about turning this. Wait, where is this? So this sound that you're hearing right now. I made that using that technique that I just showed you guys, that resampling technique, and ended up with this. And what's so cool about this is I can just change it, like if I don't like the sound or I get tired of it, like I can just change each one. That's quite an interesting sound right there. Yo, why is Hans handing out sub? Is he's Oprah in here? Like, you get a sub, you get a sub, you get a sub. Ableton uses a quacking. Yo, shout out to Hans, man. Thank you. Yellow hoodie looking. I love this hoodie so much. I got it from H&M. But yeah, that's one of the ways you can make interesting rhythm sounds using the FL sampler. Right, let's move on to the next thing that people sent me to do. Let's see. There's one that says making a kick and snare that slaps. Silent Sign Magic. Super saws. Can we all appreciate the fact that laxcity music is important to our existence? Thank you, man. Let's see. I guess I'll teach you guys super saws now. Can you do that on Ableton sampler? I'm pretty sure you can, because you guys have a dedicated frequency shifter and you guys literally have the original OTT, so you should be good. You and VR should make an EP together. That would be insane. I would love to make an EP with Virtual Riot, or at least get to talk to him. That would be insane. Okay, that's weird. For some reason, I cannot drag the step sequencer around. Let me just open another copy of FL right now. I wish I brought my TikTok light with me. I can't really... You guys can't really see my face, can you? I want a laxcity Purple Dragons whip. Is Purple Dragons a Virtual Riot song? Because I don't think I know that one. No, I haven't seen that Twitter video from Leotrix on sound design. If it's interesting, you should link it to me, like whisper it to me if you want. Right, let's get started on Supersaws. I'm completely just going to speed through this as quickly as I can. So let me grab one of my own MIDIs from my pack. Yeah, maybe this one. So, when you make supersaws, you're basically taking multiple oscillators, detuning them so that they sound, you know, spread out and like, you know, supersaw. My producer terminology is so bad, so I hope you guys can pick up on what I'm saying. So, wait, let me just check this out. Purple Dragons. What is with this title? Oh, it's a comment. Never mind. Virtual Riot never ceases to make me... I'm jealous of his mixdowns. So jealous. And his crazy sound design. Like, that's just insane. I like that he's using the purple Lamborghini sound. Right, so we are on the topic of supersaws. Let me just... So, let's start off by setting all your 3x OSCs to saws, and then putting them on the same pitch. Actually, let me set them all the way down because this is too high. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by detuning each one. So you've got the fine knobs here. You start to make them even more full. Keep duplicating a 3x OSC, and you don't have to worry about CPU because 3x OSC is like native and it doesn't use any CPU at all. Like mine's literally just there, so you can set as many voices as you want by duplicating each instance of 3x OSC and just detuning them a lot more. I also like to finish off with Harmor, so I get a copy of Harmor, set it to the initial preset, and then set the unison to 9, so you got 9 voices at a time. And this layer is just to clean up the entire mess so that it still sounds nice and clean. So let me highlight all these and send them to a mixer track like this, into one mixer track anyway. I'll rename this and call this chords, Superstore chords. I also like to add a layer of, so if I turn off these two oscillators here, I like to get a layer of white noise just to make it, you know. Let me also copy and paste this. You don't have to do the white noise thing, that's just something I do to make it more intense. So if you don't know how to use Maximus, you can get OTT and just raise the gain, the out gain like this, and that kind of makes it more intense sounding. But I like to use Maximus because I know how to use it and there's more control over the over each band. So once again, if you go to the high band, set the graph like this, and you get you get the same effect as OTT almost. Go to the bands tab over here and maybe just adjust this slightly, like maybe up to here. Let me just set up a layer for these, so that I can easily just edit the notes. So you get a layer, and do this, set children, get one of these, Control X, paste right there. And then, you know, you've got your notes there, but let me set them to a lower octave because they're too high. Okay, I'm watching my levels because normally these are very loud if you set them. You have them on normal volume, so just put them down. Just to protect your ears as well, because that's common sense. I like to EQ at the end as well. Doing this so that there's more room for the bass when I finally add it in. No, that's too much resonance. Yeah, that's sounding a lot more cleaner now that I've rolled off the high end a bit. Rex Dizzy, what's up? Always leave this stream is mad inspired. Good. As you should be. So, once you have that, you take the bass note of your chord progression, get yourself literally anything that can generate a saw, sine, or a square tooth. Let's paste the note in there. Let's wait, so this as well. With subs, that takes tweaking. It's really up to you on whether you want to whether you want your subs to be loud or quiet. It literally doesn't matter. So you got the bass. So from a square tooth, we're going to add a little white noise there, just so that it, you know, it's a bit raspy. Get yourself fast distortion. Duplicate it. So when you duplicate something, anything in FL Studio, if you see this, it means you can drag something into a different thing. So like a sample into the playlist, a plugin into the mixer or sequencer. That's too loud. There's also some compression in the saws, so I'm going to turn off the compression in the master bus. I don't even know what to call this. The master band of the multi-band compressor or Maximus. I feel like I'm complicating things too much for myself, just saying all this producer terminology. For my friends, music, thank you for subscribing. Why did you switch the root note to C6? I don't know, just cause. Creative choice, you know. Let's see. What if Fruity Big Clock? It's just so you see this here. It's just an advanced version of that. I don't know why it even exists for some reason. Where is it? Big Clock. Yeah, it's just an advanced version of this timer here, but you know, it's just you can change the color as well. That's kind of cool. Low pass on the bass. Yeah, I was going to do that. Right. So after you've got your distortion in there, get sound goodizer again. You don't have to do this. I just do this because it makes it fat like that. And then limiter just so you can watch your dynamics. Right. I think that's about it. But like, you know, this is a basic stack. There's so many things you can add. You can add like a lead, maybe a distorted lead, like maybe something like this. I'm just gonna do something very quickly. This. So if you have a normal thing like this and you just detune it just a little bit, you hear a bit of like a flange effect going on. So I mean, this won't be that great, but you know, go ahead and yeah, I don't have my keyboard. I would have played along to this. I would have jammed along, but I can't. Why is the screen black? I don't know. Let's not hope that's a racist comment. I don't like that, man. Right. Yeah, I think that's I think I'll end there with super sauce stacks. I hope someone learned something. So I've come to my parents' place because of the lockdown. Because I don't trust myself to take care of myself in case we go under lockdown. At least if I'm here, you know, my parents can watch me just in case something happens and I can watch them, you know? Right, let me see what's... Okay, you guys can also suggest something in the chat for me to show you. Why is FL such a problem? You're not getting any video? Well, mine's working, so I don't know what I could do to help you. Be cool to see the DAW session for Focus. You guys want to see Focus? I think let's do that. I'll show you guys the project file for Focus. Now, what do we want? Do we want the radio edit or the original? Screw it, we'll do the original because it's got everything in it. It's because the stream is in 1080 by 60, so a lot of people's internet can't handle it. Yo, my internet is trash. I don't even know how this is managing to play right now, but it is. So if you're having problems, I don't know how to help you guys out with that. Oh, Prince Fox is in here. Welcome. Like, I'm such a big fan. I discovered you with that Florence and the Machine remix that you posted on SoundCloud years ago. Wow, there's so much to go through in here. I'll probably be quick. I spent so long, well, not that much of a long time coloring, but yeah. For those of you that have not heard this song, should I play through and then go through it afterwards? Like, have the majority of the chat heard this song? Okay, I'll play it. Alright, let me play through this and then show you guys what's up. That was my song with, so the vocalist is Clementine from this band called Kudu Blue. Kudu Blue. They make really good music. You should probably go check out their stuff as well. But that was their lead vocalist, Clementine. I'm assuming that's her. And I sent her a demo of the first drop a long time ago. She came back with vocals, and I just had to work with what I had because it only went from towards half of the song. So yeah. I saw that people wanted to know how I'm doing the vocal processing, so I'll go through that. That's the first thing I'll go through right now. I mean, I don't exactly remember how I did it, but jeez. Okay, I've noticed there's like routing and all sorts of things. One sec. Right, so let me solo the vocals here. So we have searching for more. So if I turn off all the effects of these mixer tracks here, searching for more than a feeling, then you can clearly hear that the vocal is very, very bad in terms of mixing. So what I did basically to process this vocal was compress it first. So we've got the compressor working here, because at different times when she's singing, she goes quiet, sometimes goes loud. So the compressor will either make it loud or quiet depending on how loud she's singing. You've got Autotune Evo, which puts some format on the vocals later in the song. It's not for mixing purposes, it's for effect purposes. Wait, I don't even know where the automation clip for this is. It doesn't matter. At some point in the song, I turn on the format effect of Autotune Evo, and that's on there. So we've got some OTT, just to push the volume up a bit more, and then some EQing to clean up some of the high end that is presented when you put the OTT on there.
For more than a feeling.
V-Bread, thank you for the sub. Bad and Boosted, thank you for subscribing with the Twitch Prime. Rexteezy, thank you for the bits. I appreciate you. That's a lot of bits. Dope, would love to work someday. Send me some demos, man. Send me some demos to my my email. Right. So you've got the EQ that's cleaning up all the artifacts that are presented when you put OTT on there. And I'm just putting a tiny bit on it because if you set the mix all the way up, it's not really great. It's harsh, very harsh. So I had to lower the mix of the OTT all the way down. I've got Fruity multiband compressor. Now this I don't know how I was using this at the time. I've forgotten how to use this. I mean, I kind of know how to use it now, but I've just forgotten how I went around processing everything. This is doing some de-essing. So anytime Clementine is saying any S's, T's, or H's, this will make sure that those letters are not harsh and they don't mess up the rest of the mix. So you what is going on? Okay, it's clipping right now because it's going into these other mixer tracks and there's no effects on them, so that's why it's doing that. In fact, this is what it's supposed to sound like without any processing on it. But we got up to what, multiband compressor, so that's doing some de-essing. And Panomatic, I'm not sure what that's doing. I think I'm automating the volume. Yeah, I am. So that's just a fade in and out for some reason. I've forgotten what the actual purpose of that was. Right, the next thing that's interesting about this vocal chain is that I'm doing mid-side EQing. So it's where you take the signal of the vocal, put it in a different one, and then you stereo separate it. But when you do stereo separate it, you only EQ out certain frequencies in the vocal. So you get so later on in the chorus, right now it's mono, completely mono. I can't get you off of my mind. But when you get to the chorus, the mid-side EQing kicks in and you get this dimension expanded effect going on. I lose focus when you're looking. Hold on, I need to activate that. I lose focus when you're looking. Hold on. There's an automation clip that I'm using for the let me lock all the automation clips real quick. Okay, so, oh wait, I know what's wrong. I haven't activated this. So, when you get to the chorus, you hear I lose focus when you look. You hear a stereo effect. I lose focus when you're looking at me. You're defined by nobody. This is purposely to make the vocals sound wider and, like, you know, just stronger in the mix, and to make room for the pluck that I have going on in the drop. I lose focus when you're looking at. So you do this by getting EQ, stereo, enhancer, and I'm just using the 4 strings preset. Actually, I don't think I did that. I just made my own. I just adjusted this until I liked the way it sounded, and then I've got fruity mute so that when the chorus starts, the mute is deactivated, and you know, you get the stereo effect kicking in. I just felt like this didn't really fit in the verse parts of the song because, you know, that just wouldn't make sense in general. Yeah, that's... So, as well as that, you've got sends for reverb, which I think I'm automating. I might be automating the wet. No, I'm not. Okay. So that's a mixer bus for, that's a send for reverb, so I can EQ that and control it directly, because without the reverb, there's some, you can hear some mids in the reverb, so if I left those in there, that would mess up the mix in general. Mixing these vocals took quite a while. That's it for the reverb set. Delay in there. I've noticed, one flaw I've noticed is that the delay isn't automated at all, so you know, that's kind of a small mistake I've made on my part. Like I should have automated the volume of the delay so that it only comes in when it's important, because while she's singing, you can hear the delay in the background, and that's not really a good thing to do when you have vocals like this in this sort of thing. Let's see. Right, that's how I've processed the vocals in Focus. So we're gonna move on to the entire arrangement. Let's see. I'm just trying to jog my memory here on how I did everything. So at the start, you have these atmospheric sounds from the start, like, oh my god. Let's see. Get that. So you've got pulse stretched samples in there, just slowly fading in. Like, this is the automation clip for that. You've also got this thing here. And that's the sound you hear at the start. Bit of noise. And then once you get here, you hear these are the pads that come in. I think this is Harmer. Yeah, this is Harmer. And I've just made a really basic pad here just to basic pad, unison 9, frequency all the way down, an envelope, a volume envelope like this, and the pad is very heavily EQ'd for some reason. I think it's because of my master. It was very loud, so I had to, oh my goodness, I'm using Ozone 8 as well. Yeah, this master is quite crazy. Let's see. So you've got the pad there, and the oh god, I need to look at the chat. Why not just use a de-esser? Because I know how to de-ess with stock plugins, so why would I need one? De-esser is just a multi-band compressor. Yeah, that's it. Stock plugins allow for easier opening of projects in the future, so you don't have to... Yep. Everyone's giving valid points as to why I'm using stock plugins instead of investing in expensive de-essers that I don't really need. You know? Good evening, sire. Hey, now official. At least someone who uses pulse stretch. Everyone I know looks at me like I killed someone when I mention pulse stretch. Why did... People should stop having problems with, like, everyone's techniques in general. If they work, they work, you know? Pulse stretch. Let's see. There's this bass thing here. There's a Reese as well. This thing here. A bunch of ARPs that I bounced out and looped there. And we've got this wasp thing here. I don't even know. Just delayed plucks right there to act as counter melodies in the verse of the song.
Searching for more.
What else do we have? We have these. We have this pluck thing here. It's growing with the reverb's growing as it keeps on playing.
Searching for more.
We've got the pulse stretched vocal here just to, like, you know, get people ready for the vocal to come in. Pulse stretch is a key to achieve a lot of sound. That is true. What else? You've got the pad. Let's see. This is a sound font that I bounced out as well. I don't know if I consolidated it or who knows. I also layered it on top of this bass so that it completes it nicely. What else? Got your effects here, and this is some vocal chops. This is an Amiya acapella that I bounced out. This is from an Amiya acapella. What else can I show you guys? Somewhere around here there's also a bunch of strings that let me turn the vocal off. So, or is it just some normal strings? Where is it? I have some strings around here somewhere. I'm just not sure where they are. I've also got like a perk here that's supposed to act like a watch. That's interesting design choice of mine. This is just a switch foley that I recorded, and I'm just rhythmically making it sound like a clock. We got some background noise here. I don't even know where I was recording this. I was somewhere, just don't remember where. Let's see. That's uplifters and downlifters, impacts, vengeance sample impacts. But I swear I had. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's a contract that I bounced out. Contact that I bounced out and you know, just put in here because Contact uses too much CPU. He's ultimate ghost producer. Love to see the processing on your plucks that occur in the drop. I will get there soon. Right now we're in the boring part. My throat is dry because I'm talking too much, and I probably need to get some water soon. It's 2020, we have to give excuses as to why we almost coughed, or why we are coughing. Then you have this climax here. It's like this crescendo type thing here. That's crescendos, got violins that help with the strings that I have for Contact here, and then you've got pads holding a note, choir that is a sampled. No, it's not sampled. It's the default choir preset from what's this thing called? What is this plugin called? Direct Wave. That's it. Direct Wave. Yo, laxcity. Is it Paul Stretch or Paul Stretch? It's Paul, like the name Paul, like a man, Paul. an ancient program that ultra stretches things. It's a very useful program that's easy to do in many different ways. So you've got the build up here. I already showed the holding of the notes. You've got this tremolo thing from Contact. Let's see. More pole stretch stuff. One of these. I don't know what that is. This is the vocal. Don't need that right now. This is just some more pole stretched stuff that adds on to the atmosphere of this build up. Then you've got, of course, you've got the, you know, drums and everything. Different drums and everything. Like, you've got this one, which is, I think this is one of my snares. This is also another one of my snares. I'm just making it build up. And then there's this one as well, which is a normal trap snare. Then before the drop comes in, it's fading out. Wait, this one's fading out, and it's going down in pitch. So I drew the pitch like this, so it kind of like just goes down. Right, I'm gonna skip straight to the plucks now because I think that's what everyone came for. Right. Where is it? So it's the most simple stack that I've ever made. Why did you arrange the build up like that? I don't know. Creative choice. Pauline stretch. You guys love your plucks, don't you? I keep deleting it. This is why I need both hands. I mean, I would have carried my entire setup here, but I wasn't a coach. I was carrying way too many bags. So, in the drop, I'm assuming I'm using Wasp for this. Yes, I am. So you've got the first layer, which is this. Which is Wasp. I've turned the ring mod on, so it's more like this. These are just sine waves, and they're being ring modulated. If that's not on, it sounds like this. I don't know why that works. It just somehow works. And then it's very simple. I've just got OTT in there with outgain at this 2 o'clock high. Put it down because there was too many artifacts in that. I've EQ'd it like this, which is quite weird, but you know, it's hitting that frequency nicely, so I just thought, why not boost that as well. Then just some simple reverb, and I'm not really sending it to anything else. Then you've got the rest of the layer, which is this bass. You can almost call this an organ or something. This is the same preset. In fact, I could reuse this preset again. So the rhythm is happening because the arpeggiator in this Wasp preset is on. So I've got it set to this direction to up down, so it just bounces. So you've got the rhythm going like this. The chords, or if you can call them chords, these are the notes for this preset. This is 128 BPM, so when you set it to this is 3 steps. So that's the result that happens when you set the preset to 3 steps. Then you've got this set to almost the same thing, but just the up, because I don't want it to go. If I set it to that, it's going to go up an octave because I've got it set on 1 in the range right here. So I've just left that alone. And then this last one is the sub. Oh wait, I've got it. Okay, the sub and this this one that goes in the middle are on the same bus, and it's literally just sound goodizer. And wow, what kind of EQing is this? Somehow it's working without the EQ. Yeah, it doesn't sound the same and doesn't sound as clean. Yeah, some weird EQ in there. And you've got that there as well. And then the last thing I did after making that layer was I consolidated the top layer, sent it to Edison, and then what else did I do? Pressed Control B to blur it. So I did this. Press Control B to blur it, and you've got these blur options. I set the amount to down, left the impulse at default. I mean, this is I've already put it through that same effect, but when you bounce this part out and put it through that, and then drag it back in to the playlist, you've got this, just kind of like giving it some dimension expansion. This camera is a Logi Capture. I don't even know what kind of camera this is. It just says HD Pro webcam C920. I think it's the most common webcam that Twitch people use. So all these work together nicely just to to do that. And yeah, that's how I made that that's how I made the focus plucks. You guys are welcome. Oh, okay, another thing. I don't know what this is controlling though. What is that controlling? Hold on a second. Oh, okay. So this is an envelope controller controlling this Panomatic, so that the pluck is cleaner, I think. But it still sounds good. I don't know why I did that, but okay, I know why this is here. It's for this, so that it's cleaner, because it's got some release in it that I don't need. So yeah, I'm just using the envelope controller to make that cleaner, so that it, when the note is pressed, it comes in. I don't even know how to explain what exactly I'm doing here. I hope you guys can guess. Yeah. Hope you guys can guess what I'm doing there. I'm using envelope controller to make the bounced out pluck that I made a lot more cleaner. Yeah, just makes it more plucky, I guess. Let's see. And then you've got the where's that what sample? I need to find out what that is. Then you've got the same kind of thing in the second part of the drop. So I've got this. I think what I did here is I did the same thing. I bounced it out, but this time I changed the I tried M side chain. Do you mean side chaining, mid side EQing, side chain inside, mid side EQing? I don't know. I've probably done that sometime before. Okay, sidechaining the mids, then no, I haven't. Does that help or something? So for that extra layer, I changed the I changed the synth to a saw wave and bounced it out and did the same exact blur thing I did in this sample right here. So that it layers up nicely. And I think that's it for the synths. Yeah. If you guys are interested in the drums, hang on, let me just unmute and solo all of these. There's so much I did for the drums, I think. That's the drum loop. Hi-hats. That's the kick. And this is the snare, which I did by layering. I don't know what sample this is. Let me check what it is. I consolidated. It's a consolidated clap, so I can't really tell what pack this is from. It's also consolidated, so I also can't tell what pack that's from. I think this is from Swindow's. No, it's not. Where is it? I'm not really sure. Might be Swindow's pack. It's from Sample Phonics. SP is Sample Phonics. Okay, I'm surprised you know that. That's insane. Shout out to Sample Phonics. I'm going to believe that it's from Sample Phonics. I'll just believe you anyway. So you've got the kick snare, these extra things here. This is the switch thing that I did from earlier, and then this layer here is to so there's this thing called flattening drums, where you put all your drums into one drum bus and then put a reverb, a short reverb at the end, so that it's, you know, it's more punchy that way. So I did that. I sent it through Fruity Reverb, bounced it out, and just layered it together so that, you know, they have space. That's the best way I can put it. Nullus is the sample dictionary. Nullus is also the producer Sharingan Eye, because he can replicate any style. Like, I heard this one time, he was streaming and he was doing this Galimatias type thing, and I wanted to know how exactly he did the delay snare thing. Right. Getting so much Twitter activity right now. Wait, what? Wow, Run the Trap just shouted me out in a stream. Is that why we have so many viewers right now? Thank you, Run the Trap, if you're watching. I love you guys. I've been a big fan forever. Let's see. I think that's about it. That's all I have to show you guys in the FLP. Of course, I showed the vocals, I showed the plucks, and pretty much the rest of the song is just these same elements, but with different arrangements. So I don't really have to teach you guys what else is going on in the bridge or whatever. Okay, yeah, I'm done breaking down this FLP. I don't think there's anything else I need to break down about it, unless anyone somehow has questions. Yeah, I mix and master my songs myself. I could show you how to mix and master songs, but there's no formula for mixing and mastering. A song could either be quiet or loud after you're done working on it. And sure, I can show you the project file. Someone requested the project file for changing earlier. I don't even know if I called it changing. Nope, that's not it. Let me check my collab folder. Pattern. Oh dear. Not there either. I'm trying to remember what I called it. See, this is why file organization is important. But I am organized with my files now, but I made changing a long time ago. So this wasn't really let's see. Do I have the Purity FLP? I might do. Cross your fingers that this loads, because it might not. FL Studio might crash. A folder said Laxcity and Lani Rose. Lol. Yeah, we're trying to get our next collab underway. Actually, do you guys want to hear something that me and Lani Rose are working on right now? It's really cool. You guys might also know the instrumental. Did I save it here? I did not. Take your collab folder and just turn that into a live event lineup. That would be insane. But let's see. Bear with me, I'm trying to find it. Great. I swear to God I had it uploaded somewhere. Alright, let me just open the project file instead. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's this one. Oh my God. You know, I still got it. Yeah, my file names are very weird. That one is a the crowdsourced song that I made. Crowdsourced. Alright, this is something that Lani Rose and I are working on. It'll probably be out next year.
and tired of waiting. Think that I'm losing my patience. Why are you hitting my phone if you ain't talking about a payment? See them boys that I came with? We ain't playing in the Matrix. Why you try hitting my bro? Might lose your brain on the pavement.
I go OTOD, all my friends 10 toes deep. Switch your side up on me, I'ma drop that phony. So good luck to the hoodlums, to the boys in the Civic rolling woods up. We gon' take over the city when we grow up. Just a few more minutes till we blow up. I still feeling back in mind. You sounding very soft, are you ready then? But still, you said goodbye. How you feel yourself when I rectify? I go OTOD, all my friends 10 toes deep. Switch your side up on me, I'ma drop that phony. So good luck to the hoodlums, to the boys in the Civic rolling woods up. We gon' take over the city when we grow up. Just a few more minutes till we blow up.
Yeah, that's it. Still really need to work on that. And Lenny Rose still needs to come up with a better hook, but I think it sounds really great so far. I just need to sit down and dedicate maybe 16 hours to make it changing 2.0. Please can you drop that B-side stupid synth? Okay. B-sides. Sorry, stupid. What are you doing? He's like, yeah, get it, laxcity, bro. I don't have the Rihanna remix. That's on my old computer, unfortunately. He's straight vibing though, doesn't even need music. True. Yeah, my brother's sick at dancing. I don't know exactly how I'm going to break this down because it's all audio files. Okay, basically I'm just going to drag each sample into my... So this entire project is made from my consolidated files. So I'm gonna play this right now and then go through each sound and then just show you Bird FLP. You mean Divisions, Remix FLP. Okay, let's have a vote. Do you want Stupid or Divisions Remix? I wish I could do a poll in here. Probably can, I just don't know what button to press. Divisions, 2 votes for, okay, Stupid, 3 votes for Stupid. Anyone else? Bird, 1 vote for Bird. Come on guys, Divisions, good with either. Stupid, I guess Stupid is winning. We're gonna do this one. First of all, I'll play it for those of you that don't know. He is. I didn't even see what he was doing behind my back. He was doing something, but you know. Go Stupid, go absolutely bonkers. Right, let me play this through and then show you guys where each sound comes from. And alright, that was Stupid. It was a song that I made called Stupid. I just saw the clip. If I get banned for the fact that he was shirtless, we're gonna fight. I'll need to thank. I spelled you wrong, but who cares? I'm just showing love back. They showed love to me, I showed love back. Bird, please. That is mine. So I'm just gonna drag each individual sound into my control. So I think this is the original drop. Yeah, I slowed it down and then made it. Just chopped it up just to make like a hype build up, and then that's also got this vocal chop here. And then this is this. That's the original. Let's see here. We've got this. Some risers, Vengeance risers. Riser, respace, that's rising up in pitch. A clap. Really harsh clap. A saw riser thing. And then this thing here. I don't know how when I made this, but this is I think this is a respace that I was working on, like a neurofunk bass, but never finished making it. Charge up. I don't know where this is from. It's probably from a game. Let's see. This is probably from a game or something. Yeah, I have so many sound effects from games and stuff. So the main sound of the saw waves is this. Don't know what. Daisy. Started off like that. And I pitched it up and did that to it. This thing here is literally this. It's from a track on my B-side. It's called Celeron, I think. Sounds like this. I don't know why it's so loud. I think it's because I've normalized it. That's why it's so loud. Let's see. This dubstep-y thing is this. It's just in stretch mode, and it's introducing a lot of like crystal like artifacts or something. Let's see. A vocal chop, which is that. Sounds like this. Sounds like this originally. Let's see. This thing here. They showed that one. Okay, that's a few main sounds in there. This is a vocodex thing that I did with someone's voice. Bird Please, Black Belt in FL Studio. Gamers Unite. I don't know, I missed this one. This is such a dope track. You missed it because you don't pay attention to my socials. I'm always posting new tracks that I put up on my side account, and it sucks that people miss those. By the way, if you want to get on my side account, here it is. Wait. In case there's a lot of songs that you guys have missed out, there is a whole library of songs on my side account that you might be interested in. Wow, Prince Fox is still in here. That's insane. Okay, I already showed you the sounds that are being used consistently and the originality. That's that chop there. This one here. That one. Vocal chops, already showed you guys that one. It's the same thing except I shifted the section of the sample somewhere else. That's sick. This is a weeb. It's a weeb sound from a weeb sample pack. You've got. I apologize for all these, but.
Put your hands up.
That's it. I'm a weeb. You guys can roast me if you want. I don't care. I love anime. Had to get these sounds. I don't even know what. Yeah, cursed file names. I'm assuming these are supposed to be in Japanese or something. They're just I just so you know, I never use these except for this instance. I don't use it. Let's see. I think that's all the sounds. I'm just like chopping them up in different ways to use them. And it all just flows together nicely. This is weird because I can't show you guys any processing. This is just all samples, so I can't really... How did I process them? Literally just raising the volume. I mean, most of the time it's just me EQing them. I don't know what this is though. Lead. What is lead? Lead. I have no idea what that is, but it has all this processing on it for some reason. But yeah, a lot of EQing and OTT. That's all it is. Guys, there's nothing I can tell you much. I can't tell you much about all this because it's just audio files. It's not like live synths or anything else like that. The whole purpose of this track was for me to have fun with my own samples. I literally just went through my pack of consolidated files and just used them to make a track. So I went through... More Kismet sent me one of his FLPs a long time. Favorite anime would have to be Classroom of the Elite because it's such a smart show. I love it. I love My Hero Academia. I've just caught up to the is it the 4th season where Deku's fighting Gentle Criminal. Boku no Hero is amazing. I need to get back into my anime watching. God, yes, I need to get on the 4th season. You're still, bruh, get on the 4th season. I think I just spoiled it for you as well. And I've not spoiled it like too much for you, but I've spoiled a certain episode, so you're gonna hate me for that. Guys, I'm probably gonna give up on this project file now, because the main purpose of this stream was to show you guys production techniques that I do. I mean, I'm still down to break down any FLPs that you guys might want me to show you, but I feel like I've sidetracked from what I originally wanted to do, which is show you guys techniques. And people tweeted at me asking, god damn, retweet. Yeah, people shared. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is show you guys how to make ambient pads. It's very simple. So if you have any good sample, let's say I'm trying to find like a piano sound or a Rhodes. let's use this one. It's from my collab with Imagero. So, making pads, making drones and pads and stuff like that. Length. So, take any sample, put it in your sampler, shorten the length if you can, if you have that version of FL Studio, and then crossfade it into itself and set the envelope so it's like that, like a pad. And what you want to do is send it to a mixer track, get a copy of Fruity Convolver, and then there's tons of Fruity Convolver presets, but the one you want is Blur White. And then press Shift E, you open Edison, and then select input mode, and then all you have to do is this, and you get it's a really nice pad. And then just hold the note for as long as you want to. And then just let go and let it do its thing. Oh, I should have selected now, actually. Sorry, let me do that again. So let me select now, and then press key on my keyboard. Yeah, it's the exact same, but I think this one is a lot cleaner than Edison's. Now you've got a nice pad, and you can, you know, press this button to cut off the parts that have silence in them. And then you press Ctrl N, normalize it. Edison has its own built-in EQ right here. So click that. It's a bit weird to use, but we can see that from this spectrum, we can see that this this frequency right here around 500 hertz or so is very loud, so I'm just going to do this, maybe to just clean it up a bit, and maybe just cut the low end down like this. And then click accept. Now you've got that. But since it's so high, what I like to do is press Alt T, and then what you're going to do is deselect insert, set the method of time stretching to transient mode, set the pitch down, and then make sure that the time multiplicator is at 100%. And then once you do that, you've got a really low drone right here. I have no idea how to do that in Ableton, but I'm assuming you take a sample into your sampler in Ableton and then run it through some reverb. Maybe turn on the spin function in Ableton and then record that out. And I don't know how you drag audio back into the playlist in Ableton, but that's how I do it. Ugh. Right, once you have this, you can now press Ctrl B to blur it some more. So now you've got this smoother sounding thing. Oh, another tip for you guys. So you see these down here? This is how you adjust the volume, the stereo separation, and the panning of whatever you have in your Edison. So if I go to the volume one right here and maybe do this and fade it in maybe like this, you know, nicely, so it just comes in. Actually, let's do this. Like, let's do that. It comes in and then eventually fades out so that you've got like a shot. And then you press Ctrl E to mix down the audio, so now you've got the rendered audio that sounds like this, which is pretty amazing. It's very useful for making risers as well. Then after you're done, you can just drag it into your playlist. Now you've got a drone or a... I love Edison because it's such a nice way to make effects and whatnot. You can speed it up, slow it down. Now you've just got like a angelic pad. You can also take it a step further. Route it to a mixer track, get yourself reverb, and then just turn up the wet like this, the decay maybe up to here or so. Older versions of FL Studio don't have this mod thing in Reverb 2, so if you have that, turn it up so it's like more, I don't know, you'll see in a minute. I think you turn this up and turn this down, and now it sounds like... It's like a lot more angelic sounding, you know? It's very cool. And yeah, that's how you make pads. I mean, the quicker way of doing it... Let me take this, for example. The quicker way of doing it is pressing Ctrl E, press Ctrl B. Now you've got this, but it's not as clean as using that method that I just showed you guys. I mean, this one sounds pretty nice, but it's not always... shut up, please. This sounds nice, but it's not always good to have it on the... Orcus Met is texting me. Damn. Amazing. CPU. I think it's a Core i7 8th gen. I've got a gaming laptop, so it's a pretty good processor. Adrian Berger type beat. Is that a thing you saw? Oh wait, it's Adrian. Oh hi. My manager's in the chat, guys. Say hello. Yeah, 137 because everyone's quarantined. It's insane. So yeah, like I hope you guys have noticed that this whole time I was using the sampler, and there's just so many different things you can do with it for sound design. Especially when you turn the crossfade up and just start scrubbing through. And just, you know, do things like this, like so many things you can do in there. That's not what I want. Right, crowdsourced. NU Plus, thank you for the sub, man. Did they let you keep any of the samples from crowdsourced? Yes, they did actually. They let me keep all of them. The new ones from the old series. There's so I need to go through them. It's Kirby. Is that the Skrillex? Probably not. I doubt it's the Skrillex, but yeah, they let me keep the samples. So I'm going to take a look at them sometime and see what I can do. That is a nice kick.
Yeah, oh,
We got some from
give me
Paulina.
everything. I get lost in the fantasy.
Paulina has such a nice voice. We need to collab soon on something.
Lax.
They have them up for download. Well, they have it. Go get them if you want to download them. Didn't know the sampler was so good. Bro, every plugin in FL Studio is so good. Have you ever like taken a look at what'd you call it? Slice X. Where is it? Slice X. Alright, let me do this. Yo, do not walk in here with a tap. I thought you were gonna walk in here with a towel. What were you about to say? Okay, yeah, I'll end the stream soon. I've been streaming for like, how long now?
Hours.
2 hours, damn. Doesn't even tell you how
God, remember flipping camera in the corner? You thought I was that goofy? I thought I would have remembered flipping camera in the corner of the room. So
Everyone's dying in the chat. Oh man. Yeah, okay. We've hit the 2 hour mark. I think I'm gonna end it now. But yo, this has been really fun. Like, thank you. There's 150 people in the 150. Yeah. It was 150. Yeah, I know, right? Because everyone's. Yeah, there was. Now there's like, okay, right now there's like 107, but at some point there was 100 and what's that? Bro, someone's saying you got enough deodorant.
What?
You got enough deodorant, bro. Someone's saying that. But yeah. I never used a decent amount of plugins because I couldn't figure out how to use them. How do I learn them? Messing around. Read the I mean, this is I know some people might be too lazy to do this, but reading the manual really helps. Like, I just like to open the FL Studio manual and just read through it, because they've set it out quite nicely, actually. Like, you know, they've shown you, like for example, this Slayer, they've shown you like what each thing does, advanced settings that you can. What did you do? Yo, don't stab yourself with the scissors. Or that's not scissors, is it? Sorry, that looked like scissors in the corner of my eye. But yeah, they've got all the explanations of how each plugin works and what each knob does. So I just read, and if I kind of know what the knob does from the description, I try it out and then just start messing around. But yeah, press F1 on the VST to open the manual. I'll keep that in mind next time. Wow, channel settings. Okay, cool. Right. So, thank you so much for coming through. I'm going to continue these. I need a capture card for that. Yeah, I would do that. I would stream myself playing games if I could, but I can't. Right. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on Tuesday for the other quarantine streams. Guys, have a nice day or evening wherever you are, and I'll see you on Tuesday.